Well, hello people of YouTube and internet, I'm ChipDP, back with another content. And man, okay, I apologize for taking this long, like, I don't know, after animation I usually take so long to get to my normal schedule of drawing. And plus procrastination is a very powerful force of nature, which is really hard to fight. I'm just trying to find the excuse, probably the excuse version. So on this one, decide to return one of my old themes, before starting a new one, and then continuing the old ones again. So it's Kwami, it's Pokémons, and of course the heroes, the weapons, and no, that stuff. It's a very simple drawing, only free drawing in this batch, which is also very embarrassing for this to take this long. Actually, it took longer than my Smash characters. Okay, I don't exactly remember how much Smash characters was before. I think I uploaded, no, actually there's Spamnos, then Smash characters. Basically just callbacks to my old series. Well, not old, they're still going, just before. On this note, let's not make this intro any longer. Let's watch the first one and continuing. Okay, so we start with Meganium. And I said right because, okay, then it's come to Pokemon of Gen 2. It's my, okay, I can't tell it's my least favorite or not because I don't remember what kind of Pokemon this gen added. I just know the status of this Pokemon seem to be very boring to me, so I don't even memorize them. And I saw those Pokemons before in anime, and I found out they were Gen starters. I was kind of surprised. Well, mostly I only knew the Crocodile one for Stegosaurus and for the Fire Bear. Okay, I will look up the name after I watch the name on my drawing version, so I will not remember them right now. So for I forgot the name. So for I create Kwami. So for I create Kwami of nature because again it's grass type and it's kinda usually represent nature. But of course for each Pokemon types I will not go in the same Kwami representation. I will create something new. So while my Bubbles, okay, I can't pronounce its name either. I think Bulbasaurus. No, it sounds weird. Maybe it's not right. Maybe it's right. I don't know. For him it will be Kwami of healing. For this one it will be generally just Kwami of nature. Because you know, the man, I almost said Megumin. Yeah, freaking Megumin. It's full of bananas on the chin and lots of flowers. Decide to join with nature. So for the clothes, decide to create a guy in the hood with these pellets on the body, and for those pellets the origin is supposed to be just body clothes, but then I just memorized one thing. I didn't create the item in which one Kwami will be inside. So to fix this situation I decided to turn the Kwami object into scarf, and when he's transformed these pellets will be a scarf. So for weapons it was one other thing to figure out. Well, there's two things that I need to figure out. How he will be holding it, because I was bloody not able to figure out the nice position for holding. I decided to find the image of my Cloud from my previous drawing, the Smash characters from memory. Find a nice position in which one he will hold this weapon. And for weapon, I originally was thinking about giving him something like a garden tool, because for weapon ideas I was pretty dry up. I originally was talking about this garden tool, which is this spatula, something like this thing. But then after I was doing it too big. And then I realized I was doing it too big. A genius idea came to my mind to draw it into a spice shaker. Because again, it's a very unique weapon. And the fact Kwami weapons is usually just a random object. Of course, most I think I will try to go with some weaponish aesthetics. But then I have option to make it not as weapony. I will do something like this. But again, not promising. Now for position of the arms, again it was like really complicated. I was removing it, I was doing something else, but it doesn't look natural to me in any way and form. And most of the time, maybe with Clouds, it was an equal. With Clouds, maybe it also looks very bad, but it's in Clouds' case, it looks so bad that I'm okay with this one. Now for positioning, decide to do the big finger on the salt, well, on the spice shaker, while this finger will be on top. Against, okay, maybe in retrospective, the finger should be here, so also see the reason why it's not a nice finger positioning. Look pretty unnatural. Well, man, we'll hold it in the future. Although what the chances I will draw salt shake in the future. And the regular salt shakers are usually super small. I decided to just make this salt shake of the wood, again for the aesthetics. Now for position, decided to draw him in the sitting position, messing with the legs, And with legs, was a trouble in legs. Okay, I made this drawing in not so far future, but man, not enough for me to bloody forget what I was talking about. It just bring me to the thought, should I bloody note myself in a drawing? Because I usually don't do that. I mean, okay, there was one case I did it, but not for drawing for animation. But I put the anchor parts about what I want to talk about. But then I was poorly writing it, some things I forgot, some things I didn't say. It was when did I even think any think process? I think most part I have only think process about the salt shaker and other stuff. Now for this guy, again, as always my heroes are nameless because they not much of the heroes. You remember in Miracles there was a book with those Kwamis, and it's something the same. It's just a drawing of how Kwami will look on the person. And which power it have, whatever it does, and whatever it does. For powers, I guess the Soul Shaker will be the main power activators. Well, I think every time, no actually, no, with Cat Noir it's just the hand will be activator. With Dog Kwami, I don't remember the name. It's the ball which activate the powers. So I think that this one, it also will be the same. So the Spice Shaker will shake those seeds which will land, and whenever they land, they will grow those strong vines. The hero of these Pokemon, I name I already forgot, will be able to control them, force them to grow any way he wants, and to use them in purpose of crushing stuff, holding stuff, or grabbing the enemy. And then those vines will disappear, either by throwing this object of Ladybug in the air and then fixing everything that was broken, or just generally will dry up with time. As for this hero, man, nothing much to say. I just give him a hood which will do representation of this leaf of the final form evolution of this Pokemon with the mask, because I think mask is important for the conservation hero. And also for pedals will be, I think, the second evolution stage. The first evolution stage I give him the belt with those little pimps, because I remember this Pokemon having pimps on his neck. And now giving the pellets. Soon I will also add some yellowish, because again, as I said earlier, I bloody never planned about the object inside of which Kwami will be. Like, I bloody never planned about it. I bloody forget about it, and I was super embarrassed. So then I think about it. I decided to quickly change this into scarf. And I think it was a nice idea. Also earlier you could see that I did give little yellowish lines on the hood to represent those little antennas which have, I think, the second evolution stage. Now for Sush I decided to turn them into those elephant's legs, which again, I'm not sure what evolution stage have them. Honestly, again saying, I bloody know nothing about this Pokemon stage lines. But I will not say I'm like super big Pokemon fans, but there's some gens I know very little about. Or maybe not gen itself, maybe Pokemon I know very little about. Like, I know some interesting facts about some Pokemon of the Pokemon world, but not every one of them. Like, for example, I know some stuff about Diglets, or the new Pokemons which look like Diglett but not actual Diglets, but people already start evolving it into just Diglett of different nation. Which again kinda explain the theme of Pokemons which look like other Pokemons. You know those memes with Pikachu and bunch of Pokemons that have the aesthetic of Pikachu? It's a family tree. They're not the Pikachu, but they belong in the same family tree. I guess Diglets can have exactly the same thing without being evolution cousin. And maybe this water Diglett can be exactly something like this. Like, look like Diglett, but not a Diglett. Screw you, it's not a Diglett. It's a Wiglet. Which again, okay, actually man, if you see this creature and you know Diglett before, would you just name it exactly the same? Now for the Kwami itself, I decided to turn it into the cheerful position. Doing the thing I do with Kwamis, and I'm trying to give them a unique body position. And also, for characters, man, okay, in this one I suddenly realized that I forget to color eyes in anime style. By anime style I mean the top will be bright and the bottom, or sometimes in reverse. And I forget that, but then memorize it, and I was checking what I did before with characters and what I'm doing right now. But I will add it later in the future. You will even be able to see it. Now I think at this moment I realized that I forgot to draw the item inside of each one will be Kwami represented. No, yeah, I was... Okay, I guess it will be a little bit late. Well, for Spice Shake I decided to make it of wood, I think I already said it about, giving it a bit more historical aesthetics. I don't think the object inside of Kwami literally have nothing to do with history, like it just can be a random object. Just have to be an object. Okay, so here was one mistake, my recording actually didn't... My drawing crashed and I was forced to start from the beginning. Also here you can see that I was doing a little bit coloring with the brush. It's because I shrink the image, used to thin of the lines, and then I use bucket tool, it go a little over line. So I decided to color the edges with my brush, and then color it inside with bucket tool. To save some time and that stuff and blah blah blah, different stuff. Now for this, it will be seeds. Decided to use my bucket tool on the square settings, a little bit translucency, and it looked pretty nice. Here under the vines. And then was the moment I realized that I didn't draw an object. Oh yeah, then I freaking come to objects. Okay, I think actually it's called Miraculous, so maybe I don't have to say the object, but I don't know. It's Miraculous is also one of the series. Okay, actually, I know by episode, I know the plot. I maybe don't know the full history of the world. Although man, I know whatever was said in the show, and some on the shops, which everyone who watched the show knows. But again, also so it's a series I watched super careful, so there's also lots of moments that I cannot know, cannot memorize. But I check in the plot. Okay, so here's the moment I realized I didn't do nothing. I decided to turn the scarf quickly into object. The Miraculous. Now, each Miraculous have 5 or 4, wait, how many it have? Oh, wait, it's have... How many does it have? Don't remember, I think it's have 5 chambers, which will show the charge. But for some reason I did 4. Or maybe it is 4, or maybe... Oh god, I don't actually remember, to be fair. No, I think it's actually... Okay, with Miraculous, it's Miraculous Ladybug, it's... Yeah, it's 5, man. Okay, let's say there's also a back of this scarf. There will be a 5th charge sign. Yeah, that's not really 5th. I just mean 1. But it will be on the back. Kinda nice. It's on his back. And for people who will else wear it, I think it's Marinette, because usually I think Marinette is a nice representation of this. I really was thinking about doing Marinette and Chloe both, because again, they're one of those people who wear all Miracles at the same time. Well, not anymore. There's also Gabriel who wear all them on the same time. Minus the... Well, I guess the ring and the earring, so minus that. But I also decided to do Felix because I don't know, I really must have thought about Chloe or someone else, but I decided to draw Felix and make him a black scar with this red lining, which blends the hair look pretty good. Well, no wonder, it's one of those things which being used constantly. For background, I can use the same thing I do, it's just bunch of colors on background. Which I use the unique interesting tool. And again, those for numbers I just draw them in without using text function, just decide to draw it with the mouse. Now, I think everyone said it, so not much I can say. Well, I guess for positioning, man, I wish I could make him lower. And actually I could make him lower. Because man, he's like sitting in not very comfortable position. I mean, I see it working, but I guess it's not very comfortable well. Now for arms, I can work with this. And I would say maybe he's lacking some details, but I try to add some more details by coloring, by adding the shadows, whiteness and his chin, those gloves and those boots and the belt. Again, my imagination, I would say my imagination is pretty limited, so it's hit its limit. For name of Kwami Love, activation of Love, Long Bloom, Love Dry Out, because I know, I think it's like the most that makes sense. Again, the limits of my imagination. So I guess for next one we shall go right now, because not much I can say. Okay, so I was saying my previous one was pretty less on details. Well, this one even less. And for this one I even decided to cheat a little bit. So it's Typhlosion, and man, I bloody first time hearing this span. Okay, because first of all, I don't know every Pokemon. There's some Pokemons I don't know, and some Pokemons I know, but their name is so bloody complicated I cannot bloody remember it. So for Typhlosion, I decided to turn him into Kwami of combustion. So basically the explosion. Well, to be fair, man, his name already Explosion, and it's bloody fit him perfectly. And because again it's fiery Pokemon who I know very little about, and I decided to just base it on his element and what he represents. Well, I mean, first of all, in this one, I just noticed the details in Pokemon and I decided to go on these details. With previous ones I know a little bit more, like with Charizard I know that when he evolved to the Charizard, he liked to fly, and I remember the moment that he fly away from Ash. So it's kind of the thing that they like to fly. With Bulbasaurs, they live in the wild nature, And I see that, okay, Kios was pretty close to become Pokemon of Nature, but I decided to turn him into Pokemon of Healing. And Blastoid, okay, I could actually turn him Pokemon of Violence or something like this, but I decided to go boring and turn him into Pokemon of Water. Now for Typhlosion Kwami, we must decide to make it in shape of his nose, which goes super long, but then try to figure out how it look on the face. Because the face have those details which I add, like eyebrows, the nose, the masking, the chin, which I like to start to add recently. And for that stuff, man, it was too bloody to figure out how to make it with the mask. So I decided to just bail on it, and the mask will be just super tight to skin, so it will not just remove anything of this. It still will be there. But also with masks, sometimes I have problem to figure out how the eyebrows will look. Because I also start adding the thicker, the longer eyebrows. So I would say you say minus of mine because it's also required sometimes. Because it's also require me. Okay, it actually. What I want to say? I want to say the eyebrows could be uneven. So it's one of minus adding super thick eyebrows. Which again, bloody reason why I should bloody learn. So for body, because I don't notice any much details on Typhlosion body, and I think for one's detail I just add some fire on his back, and for colors I decided to just the color of the belly. Like I didn't add any belt, I didn't add any zippers, I just make a superhero suit of retro style. And not even good retro, like super minimalistic I would say. For the sneakers, man, I started adding lots of sneakers. Man, because I like sneakers. But I decided to save the situation by giving him a weapon, the shield. Okay, originally because like, the starter form of this Pokemon have this fire on his back, and it's kind of give me idea of the shield on his back, like you know Captain America putting shield on his back, and decided to turn his weapon into shield. But after working, I just realized there's already a weapon with like this, like the Turtle Kwami have exactly the same weapon, and so I decided to just turn it into Saw Blade, because fire have this going around, you can have the spikes, so I decided to turn it to Saw Blade. Well, technically it's shield, but it's Saw Bladed shield, which again look pretty cool. And again, also it's like super dangerous weapon, although it's a weapon, so it's supposed to be dangerous. Although, actually I just realized something. Does the Bull Kwami have any weapon? Because I saw him earlier, but I don't think I see him with any weapon. Maybe Kwami can go without weapon, or maybe his weapon are his fist. Which, maybe horns, yeah, I think he have horns, so maybe he can just detach them and use them as like Keycats. Yes. How they called? Man, I don't remember the name of the stuff. Now for Hero Kwami, man, I tried to make them very unique and very interesting. But again, I think I should do more of different gender or different skin colors. I mean, I'm trying to pick up the different skin colors, but again, I think for now I only have one black female character. So in the future I have to make my variety is more big. Although I think I should be playing with my variety even more. Because I think I like freaking drawing mans a lot. And it's a problem I need to fix, because man, it's a limit of creativity. I should bloody practice, be more creative, be more interesting. But I promise that I will try to pick up something interesting in the future. But with my next character is pretty interesting, I would say. Because man, I think he's like one of my best work in this batch, because he has so many details, and he also not overkilling it a little bit. And plus, I gave him a little bit interesting nationality. Okay, I didn't actually give him any nationality in my ideas. I just start drawing him and see how he end up. But for next character, we'll talk about next character, because I have to draw the Kwami of this Pokemon of Explosion. But him decided to make him unique by giving him a depression. Because man, I would make him look very, very sad. Well, because, I don't know, maybe he doesn't like being Kwami of Explosion. Or maybe he does have depression, maybe his previous owner died and now he's sad. Now for details, decided to give him the Fire Anarchist, the Fire Tail, and the Fire Hood. Basically everything from his all evolution stages. Which again, I'm trying to do the evolution stage of the final form. To be fair, that I named the Kwami, I named it after the final form. Because I see it as an animal which grow up into full stage. Like, you see a butterfly, but you see caterpillar. Although, man, I think we see them as different type of animals, although in reality they're the same animal. It's the same animal. But I guess we're trying to give them the distinction. Okay, so see the part with the eyes, which I did. Bloody noticing it right now. Also we'll do it with the rest of characters, because again I forget and Bloody will do the rest. Now, yeah, with Pokemon, man, originally I drew the full form, name it after the final form, but then during the forms I tried to combine with all the stages of evolution. The sentence was super bloody wrong, to be fair. But honestly, man, I think I already delivered it, but I have no idea why I'm continuing. Now I'm doing a little bit bad on his body. To draw first of all the body going on the neck without expression lines. And his arms on the body while this arm outside of the body. Which again, hard to bloody explain to me because I'm so bad at explaining stuff. Was because I didn't have... Maybe... Oh yeah, what I want to say, maybe. It's not maybe, it's absolute fact. I have no idea how to explain my thoughts better. Sadly. Very, very sadly. But for this one, for weapon, saw blade, for power, combustion, it's coming of combustion. So he will just explode. Well, then I actually don't see it like explosion, I will see he just created tons of fire around him, which will spread and then burn whatever he wants. So it's very dangerous power, because again, he will burn everything around him. So no matter what, it could be human, it could be not human, it could be object, but it just will be fire around him. For controls, I guess he can choose the area it will be. It could be just super close to his body, so whenever he touch or whenever he step, will be burning and melting whatever happens when you burn stuff. Now, but he can also make the explosion or the fire in the area of the whole city, which is bloody messed up. Also, man, this is like a power you should bloody think about. Now, for objects on which one the Kwami will be, again I bloody forget. So I have to come up pretty quickly right now. So I decided to do it a glove. Which one? Not the glove you see right now, which go right there. It's a glove under the shield. Because again I forgot and have to somehow fix the situation. For glove I decided to do for Marinette and for Gabriel, because I didn't do anything for Gabriel. For Marinette I think it will be like super long, like these female-ish gloves. Although I don't think Marinette would dress up like this, but it look like. Nice. For Gabriel I decided to give him like just full-time black glove. As for gloves I'm trying to do them in perspective like this. The glove is always on the right hand. Okay, you can put it on the left hand, but again, it will look weird. Now for body presentation of the power, I guess I kinda did pretty weirdish arms. But I guess I got a little black, so it's pretty hard to see. Okay, not so hard, but... I don't know, for these characters Okay, maybe I should bloody do like this. And to be fair, I can use different colors if I want to. Anyway, I don't exactly have to use just full-time black. Now for that stuff, man, again, everything I want to say I said it. Well, to be fair, man, first one. Because it's pre-drawing, in the speeding process it's not so fast, and I can have time to comment on everything I did. Okay, maybe the fun thing I didn't comment on is the fact that I give him shoes. But those shoes are not just special, I just make the tip of the shoe in the color of Typhlosion belly. I didn't even give him a sneakers. Well, I mean, they have some ribbons, well, how you call it? The sneakers have whatever you tie up, the laces. But again, it's just something I like to do with shoes, just draw lines on the part of the leg, like on this part of the leg. Oh, this hurt, man. Oh, I did regret, so many regrets. Oh, activation word taught ignite, taught extinguish. Basically, again, fire-based activation code. Now, okay, so for numbers, usually I put Marinette to the second one, but I decided to change it on Gabriel, the second one, while Marinette will be the third one. Because I did some counting mistake, but again, not big mistake, I mean, doesn't matter. I didn't do it exactly as last time. For Kwami name, I decided to come up with Todd, because Kwami names is actually pretty hard for me to come up. Because it's a name, and it does not exactly have to represent the nature of the Kwami, just simple name with double letters. So just come up with random name Todd. And for power, bloody hell, I think I explained everything I want to say. So for the next one we shall go, and again I said earlier, next one is one of my favorites right now, I would say. Again, I would say it's the best one in the batch of the whole Kwami creation. Oh, maybe he is, actually. I think I like him pretty much. Okay, let's go for the next one. Alright, bloody now. Okay, so for the next one is Feraligatr. Bloody hell, it's actually his real name? Bloody hell, okay, those names actually have more meaning than I imagined. Feraligatr. Okay, so for making it a Kwami of survival, it was a genius idea. While looking at Feraligatr evolution line and enters at his second stage, you have something like a caveman clothing. So I decided to... Okay, first of all, I was thinking about making it a Kwami of degradation. Okay, no, it first of all was Kwami evolution, but we already have Kwami evolution, so Kwami of degradation. Now I'm thinking that's maybe too complicated. Decided to turn it to Kwami of survival, and his power will be powering up the people. So by forcing this survival energy into people, he will increase the Natural strength. Okay, maybe not just people, maybe it can be just anything that strength can be increased. So not machines, but maybe animals, bugs, or maybe even emotion monster, or what's the name of those things? Senti monster, yes. Something like this. And for that stuff, it would something like this. For the body guy, I decided to create something more original. Well, for super long hair, and the hair which go this way, and this stuff. For object on the side Kwami will be, it will be thanks. Well, okay, in the Kwami battle form it will look like thanks, but in the disguise form it will look like bracelets. Which again, a very unique way of... Okay man, bloody hell, I took so many breaks. So there was a cut because I have a habit of leaving the drawing while doing my own stuff, like not turning off the recording. And now bloody regretting this because it was a really long break. So for Kwami object again I would say it will be bracelets, which again a very unique object for decoration because it's really hard to put. Well, how hard? It's magical, so maybe it's a bit more easier. But again, man, already I was thinking that Blue Miraculous, it was pretty weird, but then I learned that those piercings can just be put without piercing it. So maybe not so weird now. Maybe I just super raw weird for myself. Now for one position I didn't like what I was doing like this and didn't look natural for me. So I just had to do things arms like this. And on the hands there will be those... Man, I forgot the name. Ah, bloody hell. Okay, it's a weapon that Shredder use, but less spike here. Well, mostly just... Man, I have no idea for weapons, and again, I decided to just Google Shredder and whatever he has. And man, I just realized this weapon that Shredder have so many forms, so many ordinance, so many things. And for this guy, his nationality was pretty interesting to me, because he kinda look... Okay, you know, Moana, and there was Maui. I think he looked pretty close to that nationality, but again, not with skin. So maybe he kinda... Okay, maybe I should color his skin a bit more different color. And my tolerance is being questioned right now, to be fair. Because I do know that I don't make lots of characters with unique distinct skin. Well, I mean, there's one of Babasa Kwami. But yeah, man, I need to do something more. Because I need to figure out this guy's nationality. I mean, it's not exactly a guy, it's not a character where I will be walking much. But would be bloody nice. Now for his clothes, decide to give him a primitive, this rope. Okay, like caveman, cartoony caveman's clothes. But I guess it's actually real Chinese clothes. And actually I think about this guy being Chinese, but then I remember this nation which name I don't bloody remember. Forgive me. And he looked close enough to that nation, but the skin color must be darker. Okay, maybe I have to fix it later, but already I finished the version, although... Oh, I know it's not so hard, I can just use a bucket tool. Should I change it right now? Make it darker. Wait, what color actually did I use? I don't know. No, I used some paler color. Okay, we'll create a second version and see which one you like the most. Yeah, we'll do that. I'll totally do that. Maybe not, maybe right in front of you. Okay, maybe I'll finish this one. So for clothes, decide to do the petal of one of the transformation, the first stage, and the last stage. Those pet on the rope which go on this part is the stage, second stage, while the crow cherry will be the last stage. And for other stuff, for mask, I decided to just put a bunch of random colors. Now for charge indicators, each phase will disappear while the charge run out, and the middle one is the fifth one. Now for that stuff, oh yeah, for eyes there will be also a darker color of blue, because I noticed that the start formation have something similar to that. And for other stuff, I totally will make two versions of the last drawing to see which one will do better. Because I think my nationality I want to give him, I think the skin color must be darker. You know what, I will do both versions and you will see. And maybe you will also comment which one is best. Yeah, I like this idea, I will do exactly the same idea. Would be nice. Now for sure decide to draw something like spikes. Okay, you know, in the cyberpunk there is a type of shoes which have spikes on them. I was inspired by this and tried to create something similar, but I think I did this effect wrongly. Like always. But I tried to do something new. But also did some colors of the typical pattern of the Feraligatr. Okay, I hope I pronounced it right. Now for Kwami, I decided to just... And it's just Pokemon, but more less detailized in the form of this Kwami. But I have no idea how to comment on else. I can give him error guess, but I think I did a little bit weird position of the body. Like maybe it's not natural position of the body. Okay, at this point I have not much to say. For weapon, for powers, yeah, I think I said everything. Activation words I have proceeded to memorize them. But here, oh yeah, I was watching one lesson about how to do legs. Like the legs like this, like I would say unhuman legs which go bent backward. But then I didn't even need them because I will color the bottom part with this color of the belly of all transformation stages. Now I also decided to do these patterns with those plates on the body, which again I noticed on the transformation forms. I think on the last one I noticed them. On the shoulders, on the legs, on the knee, and also on these parts here. Now for weapon, okay, you can see them because of the position. I think something like this position. Okay, you can totally see. Well, I did something like this. No, you cannot see them. But you can see this belt. It's part of the weapon. Now for spike, I decided to do them in the spikes of Feraligatr, but they were more shorter and more slender. Also give this line so you know that he actually wear them. And this is Miraculous. Okay, so for Miraculous I decided to show you them how they will look on Marinette and how they will look on the mouse Kwami user. For Marinette I decided to just give you a normal bracelet. For mouse user decided to add some little diamonds inside of them. So nice and pretty. I thought with yeah, I don't know. Basically the same mirror copy, just add some circles inside to make them a bit more different. I mean, I think it's pretty common for Miracles to look the same for every user. Because again, each user, if they're gonna look exactly the same type, it will be pretty fine. There's like a second B user Miracles, and I think whenever... Okay, I think there's people who draw how Miracles will look with different people, and for that second B user, they always turn Miracles into this artsy, squarish, bluish, pinkish, and that stuff object. Like they just go wild with that. And they actually do the same thing with Chloe. Like when she holds the Miracles, they will just bloody turn it yellow. Although to be fair, I think it's exactly the right thing that happened in the city because she was holding them all, and I think almost all the Miracles were yellowish. For Marinette, I think they're usually doing all the pinkish. Other exception will be the Mars Miracles, which on her it looks like the yen coin. I mean, it's not yen coin. I mean, it looks like yen coin, but I don't think it could be not yen coin. Now here I'm supposed to represent that power, how it's working, how it's what it do, by these people who, by the Kwami user in the full color and the full clothes, used his power on just a random person, and that random person lifted something heavy. Although making the line pretty slenderish, so the color will go a little bit off the body. Now here I decided to use a color black, but brighter. But then it looked not so nice to me, so I decided to just color it full black like always. And that's it. That's a Feraligatr Kwami user. For now, I think it's everything looks pretty fine, but I guess you also see the second version where I changed the skin color because I suddenly have this desire to change his skin color. But again, everyone percent said it. Activation word old bulk up and not relax. Because I don't know, the funny combination did not come to my mind. And honestly, not much I can say. So the weapon named Kteko. I hope I pronounced it right. Probably not. But on this note you will see the second version. Right after I finished it. Okay, so here's the second version. Honestly, I bloody forget to call the guy, which is the guy over there. Give me a little bit more time. Or maybe Bale. Okay, no, not Bale, I will not Bale. Okay, now you see the guy colored in the right color. Before I forgot to color the guy in the power explain them, but now it's the same color as the main version. Honestly, I bloody don't have which color it is. Both versions look not so bad. Honestly, all versions look exactly not so bad to me. So I don't care which color he will be. But yeah, not much. On this note, okay, actually no, say me, which version of the bloody hell, I just closed the picture, what's the name? Feraligatr Kwami user color you like? Did you like him being this white, palish guy? Or not white, well, Yeah, it's palish color. Or you like him being African American. Well, okay, not a Moana. Moana race. A race from Moana. Well, not. It's not even a race. It's nationality. Oh, bloody hell, maybe I should give him. Okay, no, okay. I was thinking about giving tattoo, but let's not give him a tattoo right now. Let's not add any more details. I just finished this drawing, and now I just add the second version of the drawing for you to decide which color you prefer more. I have the feeling people will go with the second version. Because tolerance. Okay, on this note, what else I can say? Okay, for the first stage, man, I want to apologize for not uploading in such a long time. Because, okay, I think it's happened to me before. I think it usually happened to me after animation because I get lazy and not working in project. I mean, I do work, but I take lots of day off before the works. And then I finish the work. I take super long to put this on monitors and doing that stuff. I now recorded this video at night. I could do this in the morning. But I was first of all given a goal to check my video I made for my other two channels before not uploading them, but before going on the second project. Well, not on other videos. But then I was ready to do the work. I decided to take a shower. I decided to not do it. But I was also pushing it to the next day. Like I want to record this on the next day. But right now I will just record this, and the next day I will montage this, and then upload on YouTube, then check it, and then make it official public, so you could see it. Although, who will watch it? Well, to be fair, I think my subscribers jump from what I have there to what I have right now. Because most of all my subscribers come for Jacksepticeye animation, and they probably just subscribe without looking. Or maybe it's my old subscribers who come here for one episode of Wild House I upload. Well, not full episode. It was either Dancing with Bells. Right now I've already uploaded it to my second, well, actually third channel with reaction, and used to be moments from cartoons and that stuff. I mean, sometimes I do upload moments, but when I have the mood to do that. Usually I don't have this mood. On this note, it was CheapGP. Like, share, subscribe, do whatever you can to whatever you want to support me. I have social media, I have that stuff, I have Patreon. Okay, I do sometimes shout out patrons, but on my two other channels. On this channel I don't shout out because I upload randomly. Like sometimes it can be 6 days, sometimes it can be these days. So I see supporters, people on the channels where I do videos more often. Like 3 days in advance. Well, not advance, well, yeah, 3 days after 3 days. On the 4th day I already upload on YouTube. On this note, not much I could say. Have a nice day. From the end screen, the music. Bye! Okay, that was stupid bye. It's like super kawaii girl. But I'm not kawaii girl, so it's not so handsome as you imagine. Okay, have a nice day, bye.